What's going on, guys? KDonnie here, and today we're playing Crash Landed. This is a KDonnie original. So the first thing you guys are going to want to do is start digging your ditch. This is so that mobs can't get to you in the base when it becomes night and they start spawning. What you're also going to want to do is complete the quest as soon as possible. So I'm going to go complete the quest by grabbing the crescent wrench, or crescent hammer, picking up these two fluid transposers, going to basic survival, and completing the quest. This quest requires 2 fluid transposers to be completed. Once you have them in your inventory, you can claim your reward. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go the easy route, because KDonnie is not hardcore. So to complete the easy route, we need 1 piece of dust. Now we already have dust, but it says 0% complete. What you need to do is hit manual submit, and it will detect the dust in your inventory. Then you can claim your reward. Nice. The next thing you're going to want to do is survive the dehydration. You're going to want to get your camel pack and combine it with 3 water bottles. This will fill it with water, and once you put it on your back, it'll stop you from dehydrating. That's pretty good. After that, you're going to want a way to come back to life after you die. To do that, you want to get your shell constructor and your leadstone energy cell and set them next to each other. Next, you want to open up your leadstone energy cell and go to configuration. Now this left side represents this side over here of the leadstone energy cell. So we're going to click that until it turns orange for output. Now, you right-click your shell constructor, and it'll start building you. Now, this hurts you a little bit, so be careful when you're on low health. Alright, now, back to making that ditch. You're going to want to dig it all the way around, and use the sand you get from it to build a wall up so that mobs can't get to you. Because spiders and mobs like that can walk over this, even though it's 1 block wide. They are 2 blocks wide. Now we don't want to make this ditch too big because then it'll take way too long to dig. We just want to give ourselves enough space to do what we need to do. And remember, you can always expand it later. Alright, now that we've got a decent trench going all the way around, we're going to want to prevent mobs from shooting us over the fence, like skeletons and zombies that have bows. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up a 2-block wall all the way around our ditch on the inside. And this will help a little bit. Alright, now that we've got a 2-block wall all the way around, we want to make sure mobs can't just walk up the side of our spaceship and get right on in. So what we're going to do is make it to where everywhere it's 2 blocks above the ground, so that no mobs can get up to us. So right here we'll make it 3 blocks above the doorway, even though it's more around 9 blocks off the ground. Let's do that real quick. Alright, now that we've built our wall up all around, it's starting to get late, and I'm starting to get hungry. Luckily, in our quest, it gave us PB and J's, so we can eat those, but in the future, we're going to have to figure out another way to get food. And now that it's getting dark, I want to stay inside so that mobs can't get to me. I'm going to block off the door with some of this dark glass that's here, and it looks like my clone's just about ready. That's pretty good. I'm going to block off this door, and then we're going to have to start worrying about our water. Because this isn't going to last forever. My pack's already empty. But there's nothing we can do for water right now without going outside. So what we're going to have to do is get our sieve, a crafting table, and we're going to have to start sieving some things so that we can get resources. And this will drop a lot of dust, such as glowstone dust and iron ore dust. Now, let's take a look at the quests we have to do. We needed to get 1 dust, which we did, 1 bone meal, which we did, and 1 bottle of water, which isn't detecting right now. So we'll go ahead and hit manual submit, and it'll detect that bottle of water. Now we can hit claim reward, and we've gotten our reward of 2 water bottles, 4 bone meal, and a piece of dirt. Now, we can grow some trees. But, seeing as it's still night, I think I'm going to keep sieving some dust. And to sieve your dust, just get your dust in your hand and hold right click. It'll start processing your dust through your sieve, and you'll go ahead and get all the goodies that come along with it. Now, I'm hard pressed on time, so I actually need to go outside and grow this sapling just about now. But there's some mobs outside that don't look too friendly. So I'm going to go into my weaponry room and grab myself a needle gun. The next thing I need to do is get some ammo for it. Now I've got 6 rounds of needle gun ammo that have 12 rounds each. So I'm going to go ahead and go outside and start shooting some things. I guess you need to load your needle gun before you shoot it. There we go. Now we can plant our tree and start getting some saplings. Alright. First thing you want to do is get one piece of wood, go back inside, and turn that single piece of wood into some crooks. Now to do that, you get yourself some sticks and put them in an upside down L pattern, like so. And that'll give you some crooks. Now, you use the crooks on the leaves of the tree, and it'll give you a higher chance of getting saplings, which are really useful. And I'll show you why later. Alright, now that we've gone ahead and taken all our leaves down with the crook, we've got 9 saplings and some wood to break down. Once we get this wood down, I'll show you some cool things we can make with that. Alright, I went ahead and chopped down one more tree just because I needed a little more wood. So the first thing we're going to do is make some blank patterns. And to do that, we just get some sticks and oak planks and we put them in a pattern like so. Now we're going to need just about 2 more. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and make our part builder right here. And it looks like we're running out of space, so we'll go ahead and make a chest to put all of our stuff in. Place that over here and start putting our dust in there. Next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and make our crafting station. Or tool station. We've got that, and the next thing we want to do is make our pattern table. Or stencil table. Now that we've got all of our things, we can go ahead and place them down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and place them in here, just to save space. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is we actually need some more patterns. So we'll go ahead and make one more pattern. Now we go into our stencil table and we start making these patterns. So the first thing we're going to need is an axe head pattern. And the next thing we're going to need is a shovel head pattern. We're going to go into our part builder and turn these into bone with our bone meal. So we got a bone axe head pattern and a bone shovel head pattern. Now we go into our tool station and make ourselves a mattock. Now a mattock is really useful for cutting down trees, tilling the land, and killing some enemies. We'll go ahead and name him Matt Smith. Alright, sounds like it's becoming day outside. We'll go ahead and go out, see what we can do. We got a lot of things dying. Oh dear. Well, that's not good. Alright. I'm glad I got out of that situation alive. We're going to go ahead and get back into our base and try not to do that again. When you're damaged, you need to heal up. And the only way to do that is to get the well-fed stat. To do that, you're going to want to make yourself a little bit hungry and then go ahead and just eat anything like an apple. This will go ahead and give you the well-fed stat, and you'll heal up pretty quick. It'll also get rid of your negative effects. Alright, so something else we got from using the crook on those leaves was some silkworms. Silkworms are really useful because they infest the leaves and slowly turn them into webs. And then you can get some silk or string from doing that. It takes a while, but once this progresses enough, these will start getting infected too, until the whole tree becomes infested. While that's happening, let's go ahead and collect this clay over here, and let's make ourselves a bucket and some more interesting things. Alright, so the first thing we're going to make is an unfired clay bucket. And then we're going to need some porcelain clay to make our next item. We're going to go ahead and make an unfired crucible. This will help us get lava and make water just a bit easier. Now, we have no way of cooking these things right now, so we're going to go ahead and leave them in the chest and wait until we get ourselves a furnace. And to do that, we're going to need a bit more stones. So what we're going to do is we're going to start sieving through our dust, and we're going to get ourselves some of those small stones that have a chance of dropping when you do so. This might take a while. Alright, looks like our tree is coming along pretty nice. All the leaves that are 100% infested, you can go ahead and break with your crook. This will drop you some string, which is fairly useful. The rest of the leaves, just go ahead and leave them. They'll infect the rest of the tree, and make it pretty useful. But that is pretty good. Now we can go dig up some of this dust and make this wall just a bit more uniform. That looks much better, don't you think? Alright, let's get back to some sieving. Now remember when I was talking about food earlier? Well, you can put rotten flesh on these drying racks and it'll dry it out and make it into monster jerky. And that will be pretty useful for eating later when we get a bit more hungry. And it looks like our tree is just about done being infested. Let's go ahead and tear it down with our crook and see how much string we can get out of it. Infested trees also have a chance of dropping even more silkworms, and they can make a good meal in a snap. Alright, we're going to go ahead and fill this in and chop down this tree, and then I'll show you guys another way you can get food pretty easily. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is make some more crooks, because they go out pretty fast. And once you make your crooks, you're going to want to get your tree and de-leave it. Now what you really want from this is an apple. That way you can make an apple tree and get some food that way. Now, the most apples I've ever seen on one tree was about 10. And that'd be pretty good, but sometimes they only give you 1 apple per tree. And if that's the case, sometimes it's better just to take that apple once it grows, make it into a new sapling, and grow a new tree. And just chop that old one down. Alright, we got an apple. Now, that took a while, and I haven't checked my quest book in a while, so let's see what quests we can complete. Alright, the first thing is drinking mud, and we need a bottle of dirty water. Now, to get a bottle of dirty water, you just put a piece of dirt and an empty glass bottle here in your crafting grid. But, we don't have any dirt. Well, let's do something about that. But, before we make more dirt, let's go ahead and make our apple tree and get that growing. Alright, to make some more dirt, what you're going to want to do is make an oak barrel. You make an oak barrel like so, and then you can go ahead and place it anywhere. Now, it's not going to rain in this world, but if it were, your oak barrel can fill up with rain if it has line of sight with the sky. So, in normal circumstances, you might want to place it inside, but seeing as it isn't going to rain, I'll go ahead and place it out here. Then, you want to put 8 saplings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then, it'll start composting. And once it's done, you'll have a brand new piece of dirt to do whatever you please with. Alright, looks like it's done composting. Now we're going to put it in our crafting grid with an empty glass bottle, and that'll give us some dirty water. Now, we can go ahead and turn in our quest by manually submitting it, then it'll detect our dirty water bottle, and we can claim our reward. Now let's look at some other things we can do. Now, we've got Purify, and all we have to do is submit a clean bottle of water, which we just got from the last quest. So, let's go ahead and do that. And that'll give us 4 more glass bottles to store some more water in. Nice. Now, being outside whilst it's daytime can be pretty dangerous and pretty draining on your water supply. So you're going to want to be careful. And it looks like our apple tree has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 apples on it. That's pretty nice. We're going to go ahead and plant another tree right over here. And this will be for regular, just oak trees. And since this tree is going to stay here and grow its apples, which you can just right click to harvest, and then it'll grow more, we can go ahead and take the dirt out from under this one, and we can make another spot for growing trees. I think right over here. Now, we have bone meal, and we get bone meal from sieving our dust, but just having trees grow passively is also a good thing, so we don't use quite as much bone meal. Now, while it's day and it's pretty hot outside, I'm going to go ahead and stay inside and sieve some dust. We need 24 stones to get ourselves a furnace, and then 2 more for a hammer, and 4 more to make a bucket of lava, so that we can make a cobblestone generator. But that's going to take a while. So, let's go ahead and get sieving. And if you run out of water to drink, your camel pack is empty, and you've only got your cold water for emergencies, eating an apple will also give you 3% towards your water, which is pretty useful. It won't cool you down much, so look out for that. Looks like I'm getting pretty hot. I'm going to need to make some more dirty water. Just going to fill up my bucket outside and continue sieving while it composts. Another way you can get water is using these fluid transposers. We're going to go ahead and take one down for convenience sake and just place it over here. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our leadstone flux capacitor, and we're going to put it inside here so that this has power. Now we're going to grab 10 saplings, put them in, and we're going to start filling this tank with saplings. This will squeeze them into water and make about 100 millibuckets. Now you need 1,000 millibuckets to fill up a water bottle, so it takes 10 saplings to fill up 1 water bottle that you can drink. And they'll make sticks on the way, so it's not completely useless. Another way to get water is to complete quests, and that gives you quite a bit of water. Now, looks like if we sap the saplings and put them into the QDS, about 100 millibuckets, we can get ourselves 2 water bottles. Now, that's 1 water bottle for 2 water bottles, which sounds pretty good to me. So let's go find our QDS, which is right here, Quest Delivery System, and we'll place it right next to here. But what we want to make sure is that this is not outputting to it. So we'll shift click this center one so all the outputs are disabled. Next, we'll place our Quest Delivery System and select the task using this button right here whilst you're in the task. Next, right click your Quest Delivery System, open this up, and output from the right. If there's anything in there that doesn't need to be outputted, it will destroy it. So look out for that. Now we'll claim our reward and put it in our camelback. When you drink a regular bottle of water, it doesn't cool you off much, but when you put it in your camelback, it'll go ahead and cool you off quite a bit, which is nice. Also gets rid of heat strokes, which is nice. Alright, we only need 4 more stones before we can go ahead and make our furnace. So let's get on that. And that makes 24 stones. Now we're going to turn all of these into cobblestone, and we're going to go ahead and put away a lot of this dust that we accumulated. It's all pretty useful, so don't just throw it away. Next, we're going to go to our crafting table and turn these all into slabs. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves a slab furnace. Now this is no slower than a regular furnace, and it cooks just as quick and efficiently, but it generates heat even when it's not cooking. So I like to place it outside near a burning engine of pyrotheum, just here, so it doesn't heat up the inside. Now we can go ahead and fire our bucket and crucible and start using those. Alright, now that we've got our cooked clay bucket and our crucible, we can start putting them to use. First thing we're going to want to do is put our crucible down, and we need to put a torch under it. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves 1 piece of charcoal and make some torches with that. Alright, now that we got our charcoal, we're going to go ahead and put a stick under it, make our torches, and then place a torch under our crucible. Now, somehow, and I'm still not sure how this works, it'll melt down our cobblestone into lava. And that'll be pretty useful for making a cobblestone generator. And looks like our apples are starting to grow, which is pretty good. Oh, one just grew just then. Nice. But, like I said before, we need 4 more pieces of cobblestone just to make 1 bucket of lava. And we need 2 more pieces just to make the hammer. So, let's get started on that. But, I'm getting dangerously close to not having any water at all. So, to fix that, we're going to go ahead and make some iron ore dust and start cooking that up. You don't look too friendly, Mr. Creeper. Uh-oh. Go ahead and pick this apple. Get ourselves some more water from there. And we'll cook up this iron. We'll go ahead and make ourselves some shears. You'll see why later. Alright, now that we got our iron, we'll make our shears, and then we'll go ahead and try and grow a tree. Now that we got our tree, we'll go ahead and take our shears and shear off all of the leaves from it. And we'll turn these leaves into water. Alright, to turn these leaves into water, we're simply just going to put them in this crucible. Now, I believe it can hold 5 leaves at once, but it needs 10 leaves to make a full bucket of water. So, we'll go ahead and put in 5 now, and then we'll wait, and once it's liquefied them all, we'll put in 5 more. But I don't think I could wait that long for some water. So, I'm going to go ahead and take my dirt and put a bottle in here to get some dirty water. Next, I'm going to deal with this spider. And I'm going to cook this bottle up. Go ahead and get myself some clean water. Alright. Now that we've got some clean water, I'm going to want to cool down. So I'm going to put it in my camel pack as well. Now, it's not only going to hydrate us, but it's going to cool us off as well, which is pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and look at some of these quests we can do and try and get them knocked out of the way. Next quest will probably be Desperate Times, and that is make 1 zombie jerky. So, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to need 1 rotten flesh and 2 pieces of salt to make this jerky. To make a zombie jerky is a bit different from making monster jerky. Zombie jerky just requires 2 salt and a piece of rotten flesh, whereas monster jerky, just kind of hang it up and let it dry. Alright, now we've completed the quest, and this will give us 4 more zombie jerky. So we've got a total of 5, which is pretty good. But it only gives us half a thing of hunger, which isn't the greatest. The next quest we can do is even more desperate, and that's to eat those cooked silkworms. Now, we got some silkworms, about 11 of them, from that tree we cut down that was infested with them. So, we'll go ahead and cook up about 10, and see what we can get out of it. Alright, I've cooked 1 silkworm, which is just enough to complete this quest. We'll manually detect, and we'll get our reward, which is a rice seed. That's pretty good. But what we really need to do is tools of the trade. We're going to need a bone crook, a bone shovel head, and a bone axe head, just like we made before. We're also going to need a stone hammer. This will give us a life canister, or some obsidian arrowheads, and a bronze axe head. And we'll definitely get this full pattern card. Alright, let's get our bones and bone meal, and let's make these things. So the first things we're going to make is the bone axe head and the bone shovel head. We made these before, but we forgot to hit manually detect. They've already been detected now. We need to make a bone crook. To make that, we just go to our crafting table and do the same things with bones that we did with our sticks. Now, it's detected that, now we need a stone hammer. Unfortunately, we don't have quite enough stones yet, so I'll have to get back to that. I'm also going to make this chest just a bit bigger. It doesn't quite look like it can hold all that I'm putting in it. We'll sort this and move some things down. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and refill this water so that it's going while I'm inside. Alright, now that we got our stones, which we can use to make cobblestone, we'll go ahead and grab some sticks and we'll make a hammer. Sounds like it became day too, so might not want to spend too much time outside. Now we need to do some weapons, including a bone knife blade and a bone cross guard. We'll go ahead and get our 2 blank patterns that we left in there before, go to our stencil table, put them in, and see what we can do. We need a crossbar, and we're going to need a knife blade. We're going to need to make bone versions of each of these, so we'll put our bone meal in, get our bone versions out, and see how our quest is doing. Manually detect. Now we need armor. So to make the armor, we're just going to need to make some of this wooden armor, which is crafted the exact same way regular armor is crafted, but you use oak logs instead. We'll craft a helmet, some boots, some pants, and a chest plate. Now we can go into our book, claim one of our rewards, which I'm going to get the red heart canister because that's pretty useful. Click claim. Now you can take your red heart canister, right click it, and you'll slowly get a new heart over your regular health. So you have just one more heart to play with. That's pretty good. We can also put this armor on, but not the chest plate because we have our camel pack there. It will be even more protected from the elements. Now we're going to go check on our lava, or water in this case. We're going to fill it back up. We're going to go back inside and worry about other things. Now, the next thing we need to do after that is quite a few. Firing it up, which is just creating a slab furnace, which we already did. So we can choose from one of these. I'm going to pick the cold water because I kind of need that right now. I'm going to claim that, and it'll give me a hopper, autonomous activator, and a pneumatic servo. So, to set up our sieve to be automatic, we can do that now because we have an autonomous activator, which will automatically right-click for us. What we're going to want to do is go ahead and pick up our sieve, go outside, and start setting things up. But, to set things up properly, I'm going to need just a bit more dust. And to drink some water, because it's starting to get just a little bit hot out here. Picking up the rotten flesh also isn't a bad idea, because we can turn it into monster jerky or zombie jerky, which is pretty useful. Alright, now that we got the dust we need, let's set this up. So we're going to take our hopper and place it just about here, facing into this block. So you want to sneak and right click right here. Now, this is where we'll go ahead and put our chest. So let's go ahead and craft that real quick. And then we'll continue building the other stuff. And I'll show you how you can make this a pretty good setup. So we'll go ahead and place our chest right here. And then next, we're going to want to make our water flowing into it. Now, we're going to place our autonomous activator right next to our sieve whilst facing away from our sieve, because the autonomous activator will face towards us. We'll place our dust in there and it'll start going right off the bat. Now, there's a problem, and that is once it finishes, the stuff's just going to plop out onto the ground. So, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a little funnel to lead that straight into our hopper. Alright, now we can use our clay bucket to pick up this water and move it over here. Now, it'll pour right over our hopper and a bit further. We'll go ahead and cover this up and actually move our hopper to the end of where the water's going to go. We'll collect our chest, and to collect our hopper, we're going to need a pickaxe. So let's go get one real quick. Now we'll go mine that hopper. We'll fill this up, move that. We can go ahead and place our hopper here, after placing our chest right there. And there we go. Now, I need some water. When you have a heat stroke, you really don't want to make it any worse, so you want to get inside and stay out of the heat as much as possible. Because once you get heat stroke too, you can no longer eat, and those precious source of water that is apples, well, they're not going to do you much good, are they? Alright, I went out, collected some more apples, and I'm just going to hide in this corner till I'm not so hot. Let's do some waiting. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the end of this KDonnie video, and I guess you're just gonna have to wait for some more KDonnie original content.
Let's go. Let's go.